Last night in Atlanta's nightlife, something went down that no one was expecting. The energy in the nightclub was electric, the music was blasting, the lights were flashing, and everyone seemed to be enjoying themselves. But behind the glitz and glam of the VIP section, a brewing storm was about to explode. It involved three names that are no strangers to drama: Lil Scrappy, Kirk Frost, and Young Jock. What was supposed to be a fun night out turned into a scene of chaos that left everyone in the club stunned. Kirk Frost and Young Jock were posted up in their usual VIP booth, looking cool and composed as always. But something felt off. They weren't their usual animated selves, laughing and joking around. Instead, they were sitting there quietly, watching. The crowd with a focused intensity. Their eyes kept shifting toward the center of the room, where a certain someone was about to make an entrance. Lil Scrappy. Scrappy, as always, made his entrance with full confidence. The moment he stepped into the room, the energy shifted. His swagger, his loud laugh, and his bright smile lit up the place. He was in his element, surrounded by his people, greeting fans, taking pictures, and just enjoying the vibe. But as Scrappy took in the atmosphere across the room, Kirk and Jock weren't just watching. They were waiting for him. They hadn't moved an inch. Their eyes locked on Scrappy, and the tension in the room became palpable. To the casual observer, it might have looked like just another night in Atlanta. But for those who were paying attention, they could feel something building. Kirk and Jock were no longer there to party. They were there for something else, and it wasn't long before the confrontation was inevitable. As the night wore on, it became clearer that Scrappy was walking right into a storm. Kirk and Jock finally stood up from their booth, and it was like the entire club could feel the shift in the air. They moved through the crowd, making their way toward Scrappy, who was still in the center of the dance floor, completely unaware of what was coming. When they finally got close enough, Scrappy turned around and greeted them casually. "What's up?" he asked, arms open wide, but the response he got was nothing like what he expected. Jock didn't greet him with a friendly smile. Instead, he leaned in, his voice low but his words cutting. "We heard what you said, Scrap. You've been talking too much," Jock said, looking Scrappy dead in the eyes. Scrappy furrowed his brow, confused. "Talking about what?" he asked. But Kirk wasted no time, jumping in to escalate the situation. "You know exactly what. Playing both sides, smiling in our faces, and then running your mouth behind the scenes," Kirk said, holding up his phone as if to show some kind of proof. This was the turning point. With the so-called receipts in hand, things quickly went from a verbal confrontation to something more personal. Scrappy's face reddened as the heat of the moment took over. He fired back. "That's not even the whole conversation. Y'all are taking things out of context." But Kirk wasn't backing down. "Context or not, you said it. Period," he retorted. The words had barely left his mouth when Scrappy's frustration boiled over. "You think I'm scared of receipts?" Scrappy shouted. "Half of y'all are fake anyway. Ain't nobody loyal out here no more," he added, voice rising with anger. The entire club had shifted their focus to the altercation, with people pulling out their phones and security starting to move in. It was clear that this wasn't just a disagreement. It was about trust, loyalty, and respect. And it was all happening right in front of a crowd of people who had no idea how quickly things would escalate. In the heat of the moment, Scrappy stepped forward, closing the distance between him and Jock. "I've held y'all down more times than I can count," he shouted. "And now, y'all are ready to burn it all because of a few words out of context?" Kirk saw things getting out of hand and tried to hold Jock back, but Scrappy wasn't backing down. The confrontation reached its peak when Scrappy pushed Jock hard in the chest. Jock stumbled back, bumping into someone nearby, and that's when all hell